Hi. You may have heard of the ultra-popular roguelike card game Slay the Spire, but let me ask you something. What if I didn't want to slay the Spire? What if instead I wanted to date the Spire? That's right, today we're going to be looking at every single monster in Slay the Spire and deciding which one would be best to go on a date with. This is not talking about which monster would be best in a relationship. This is not talking about which monster would be best after the date. I'm looking at you, giant head, okay? Now, a couple other points. I have literally never dated in my life, so I consider myself an authority on dating. Number 2, I'll be roughly ranking them on this scale of dateability. You might notice some similarities to a tier list. I assure you this is not the same thing as a tier list, and you cannot steal it, okay? Some monsters are so egregiously offensive and terrible that I can't even put them in this list. So I've made a category. I don't really have a name for it yet. It's represented by this little doodle here. So I'm just gonna put this off to the side. Yeah, right there should work. So what's included in the list? I've put together all regular enemies, elite enemies, and bosses. Some enemies will always come grouped together. Some enemies are just different variations of other enemies, and I've cut those out. So we're down to 42 entries total. I think the easiest list to start off with would be this list off to the side here, which I'm going to, just as a placeholder name, I'm going to just call it the trash tier, okay? Now, right away, I just want to put a few things in this category because I hate them. They always kill me when I'm playing the game, and I don't want to talk to them in person, so they're just not even going to go over here. They're just going to go right over there. Okay? So we have the Slavers, Snecko, possibly the worst enemy in the entire video game, trash. The Shelled Parasite, the Snake Plant. We also have the Gremlin Knob going in this category, probably one of the most heinous fictional characters ever created, and I hate him for always humiliating me in Act 1. He is pretty hot though, I would let Gremlin Daddy fuck. Finally we have Spire Growth. This one's actually not that bad of an enemy, but they're very tentacly and slimy, and they're all grabby, and I'll just keep this. I'll keep this one. I'll just keep this one. I'll just keep this one. Okay. On to the F tier. Now the Fs technically compete, unlike these losers over here, but they're gonna fail. There's no way this could work out, okay? This is like, you arrive at the date, you see them sitting at the table, and you think, you know what? And then you just head out. That's the F tier. First up, we have the Spike Slime. Now, the Spike Slime in the game excels at lowering your defenses and making you vulnerable, but I am an expert in hiding my insecurities, so I don't think this matchup would work very well. Next up, we have Lice. So I'm going to put that in F also. We have Shapes. What is this? Geography class? F. And finally we have Acid Slime. Acid Slime. Thanks, but I'm actually already dating an Acid Slime in real life. Okay, next up we have the D list. Now, the D list, we get through the date, okay? It's a tough time. It's a really tough time, but we get through the date. Let's see what kind of monsters go on the D list, okay? First up, we have the Book of Stabbing. Now, I don't know. I feel like, what's the best date you could have with the Book of Stabbing, right? Like, you're probably gonna get stabbed. Next up, we have Thieves, and you might be seeing a theme here in the D list. Much like the Book of Stabbing, I don't really want to get robbed either. I'm not going on a date for that, I'm going on a date. Why do people go on dates? to kiss or something. Next up, we got Time Eater. I just kind of think they'd be a jerk to sit down with. Like, they'd always be like checking their watch. Like, you know, I don't really like being all punctual like that, you know? I kind of just like, let's just see where the night takes us, you know? Plus, I'd probably be late to the date, and then they'd be like really upset about that, because... Okay, next up we have the Champ. Again, I feel like this guy would just be kind of a jerk, you know, just looking to like get with me after the date, and you know, I think I want more than that. So anyway, I'm gonna put this stupid idiot down here too. Okay, next up we have the Automaton, and this one's very simple. The Automaton does not have a head. That means we can't kiss at the end of the date, so this one's kind of weird because it's just birds. In the game, 3 birds attack you. I only have 1 here on the picture. I should have done 3, I'm sorry. You know, they're just regular birds. I don't see this going very far either. I don't know, you know, the D list, the D stands for we're on a date, but we both wish we would be somewhere else. I don't know if birds are capable of wishing they could be somewhere else, but I know I would wish I was somewhere else if I was just on a date with birds, you know, at like a nice like carnival or something, and I gotta walk around like this. Okay, next up is a fungi beast. You got like a mushroom growing out of you, or if you're the mushroom, then you got like a rat growing out of you. We're gonna put this one in D until we figure that out. Next up, we have a big group here, the gremlins. You know, I would feel like their babysitter. I wanna go on a date, I wanna have fun. I don't wanna babysit. Now, speaking of babysitters, we have the gremlin leader. Had to call in a different babysitter to babysit their baby gremlins. Constantly checking like their nest cams on their phone and stuff. And I'm just sitting there like, hey, pay attention to me. Next up, we have Hexaghost. Now this is kind of in the same vein as these shapes over here that we did before, but it's all ghostly and scary. But I am putting it 1 tier above the shapes because, you know, even if I was horrified beyond belief, it would be memorable. You know, I would never forget that moment. So for that, I'm gonna give it a kick up to D compared to the regular boring geological shapes over here. Next up, we have the Chosen. And wait a second, this is just the birds again, but in a trench coat. Nice try, birds. You're still in D, okay? Oh my god. Now, the Jawworm is a smaller version of an enemy I'm gonna get to in the future, and I've already thought about them both, so we're gonna put the Jawworm in D for now, and I'll let you know when we get to the other monster that I think is a little bit more interesting, okay? Next up, we have a sort of a mascot of the Slay the Spire game. This is the Cultist, okay? Being a cultist, I almost feel like they would try to like rope me into like some kind of weird like NFT or like crypto bro kind of scheme. I think that would just be a bad date. Sentry, this one is very simple. There's no way it's gonna work out if we can't hold hands. Now this last one might be kind of a contentious pick. This is the Heart. This is the final boss of Slay the Spire. Now my issue with the Heart is that it is clearly attached to the ceiling and can't move, okay? Which means we cannot go out to New Jersey's Pride and Joy Angry Birds mini golf at the American Dream Mall. So this is gonna be a tough sell for me, okay? So I'm gonna put this in the D list as our final entry. Now, next up, we have the C list. Now, overall, I would say the C's are forgettable dates, but they do bring something to the table where at least it's not a negative experience. There might be an ounce of joy in the date, okay? You know, it's getting okay. So first up, we have the Awakened one. Now, the Awakened one is mostly asleep for the first half of the fight. But there is a phase 2 where it wakes up and chug down a giant cup of cold brew, and it has to tell you all about the new Final Fantasy expansion Endwalkers and how it's gonna be in their weird little anime weeaboo, you know, I don't know anything about Final Fantasy. No, I'm not gonna play Final Fantasy. Next up, we have this character whose name I can actually never pronounce. If someone can tell me how to pronounce it in the comments, and I guess while I'm telling you to comment, maybe, you know, if you could subscribe too for getting this far. If, like, honestly, did you really get this far? And did you skip this? Did you skip to this point, or did you really get to? Here you go, buddy. Log off. Okay, next up, we have kind of a subgroup of the C category. Couples that are in Slay the Spire already. Now, the reason I'm putting these in C is because I feel like these couples are well established. I would feel like I'm kind of third wheeling a little bit, with one exception, which I'll get to. But let's start first with the Centaurian and Mystic, okay? Couple number 2 is a boss fight, Donu and Deka. Okay, now here's the exception coming up. Here's the exception. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Here it is. It's the Spire Spear and the Spire Shield. Now, the reason this is the exception is because this is a very unique fight in the game. Usually, in Slay the Spire, you're on one side, your enemies are on the other side. Spire Spear, Spire Shield, they welcome you. They allow you in. They say, come in, we're gonna kill you, but, you know, come into the room. And they surround you. There's one on each side. And I feel like that is reflective of how they would be on a date. I feel like this is a couple that's, you know, maybe open-minded. Next up for C, we have the Writhing Mass. Cons, it looks like a pile of spaghetti and meatballs. And pros, it looks like a pile of spaghetti and meatballs. Now the Transient, I give bonus points because I think the Transient would be a really good soccer goalie. But, sorry Transient, I don't really play soccer. So, you know, like I'll come and like watch your game maybe, that'd be cool. But, you know, I don't think I'm gonna have a super good time. I'm not really gonna know what's going on. But, you know, if you get some cool blocks as a goalie, like, yeah, hell yeah, I'll cheer for you, okay? I'm gonna make it out to one of those games. Finally, for the C's, I have the Darkling. Now the Darkling I kind of went back and forth on. Ultimately, I decided that the Darkling would be really negative, pessimistic, kind of sad, but at the same time, they're emotional. You know, they understand, they're empathetic. So, you know. Okay, next up we have the B list. Now the B list is starting to get pretty freaking good, okay? If I were somebody who ever went on a date ever, I'd probably aim for like the B listers, because I feel like A is out of my league and C is probably my league. But you know, they always say to aim above what you are. Wait, is that what they say? So first up we have the Maw. Now if you remember before I mentioned when we put the Jawworm out, that the Jawworm was just a smaller version of a monster I would talk about in the future. That is the Maw. Look at this thing, okay? What'd that mouth do though, okay? Damn, pretty good. So that's a good date. That's a good time for sure. Probably getting like local newspaper or something, I don't know. We have the Collector. Now the Collector, I imagine probably just has some like really cool things to show off. Like this little dude, man, pull up your phone. Let's go through some pictures. Oops, don't scroll too far. I didn't need to see that picture. B. Next up we have the Guardian. Now the Guardian I'm putting in B because, well, for one, see it has arms so we can hold hands. And I feel like the Guardian would just be very protective, very nice, you know, very gentle. You know, like we could go to the carnival together, and you know, the Guardian would like, you know, play like, I don't know, like the dart games, or like you know, the one where you like swing the hammer down and then you ring the bell at the top, and he'd win me like a big like teddy bear or something like that. Like I just feel like the Guardian would be really nice to hang out with. So, you know, I'm gonna put that in B. That's a solid good time. Next up we have Giant Head. We have the Spheric Guardian. Now the Spheric Guardian, I put in B for one simple reason, and it's because I'm easily amused, and I assume the Spheric Guardian can do some really cool juggling. You see these like balls it has hovering around it. I could just watch that like a child and just clap and just be happy. And lastly we have Nemesis. I mentioned that the Darkling was quite sad and emotional, somewhere in the same vein as that, but a little more confident. And I feel like the Nemesis probably has like a really cool taste in music, one-to-one with the Darkling, just better in every capacity. And that's all the B's. Now next up we have the A's. Can we get some like, I don't know, like Love Connection music or something, you know, like kind of like some game show music or something? Can we get some game show music? Cool, thank you. The A tier gets pretty spicy, okay? So just a fair warning. You may find yourselves wanting to go on a date. There are exactly 3 monsters that I've chosen for the A tier, and I will be going through them in ascending order. Real quick, I just wanna put this. Second runner-up, first runner-up, winner. Okay, that's how it works. That's how it works when you're going in ascending order. If you're in the A tier, you are in the like your Tinder is like blowing up, you know, like you wake up and oh my god, another 20 messages. Jeez. Is 20 a lot on Tinder? I don't know, actually. Anyway, second runner up, we have the Orb Walker. Now this one was another one that was kind of tough for me. Now the Orb Walker doesn't look like much, but I feel that the Orb Walker is so incredibly well-rounded. They would just be someone that like just has their shit together, you know? Like they know who they are, they know what they want, they know how to get it, they know how to do what they need, you know? This is a very important trait for someone to have. They'd be very easy to talk to, they'd be a very good listener. It'd be tough to find something wrong with Orb Walker. I actually think Orb Walker has it together. Okay, they're good. They're good at what they do. So, second runner-up. Next up, this is a good one. This is first runner-up, okay? This is good. This is good stuff. The Reptomancer. Now, the Reptomancer, number 1, thick, okay? Number 2, extremely cool cosplay. Number 3, not illustrated here. The Reptomancer has a lot of cool knife tricks. They could kind of like make a knife appear out of nowhere, almost like a magician, and then throw it at you. It's a very cool trick. Very powerful, very scary. Like, please just tell me all about yourself. I want to hear all about you. And did I say thick? Now, our champion, our most dateable Slay the Spire monster, I knew the second I looked at them that this was gonna be the winner. This has to be the winner, you know? So here it is. I'm gonna hold them up. You ready? Ready? Come on. Come on. The Slime Boss. Now the Slime Boss has a lot going on for them, okay? Number 1, impeccable fashion, okay? Number 2, clearly successful in life, okay? There's a lot of slimes out there. This one rose to the top, okay? This one stood out and it now leads all of the slimes, okay? That's not easy to do, okay? That slime game, this one survived and grew and learned and succeeded. And look at them. You know, they've been through a lot. They have a story to tell, you know? It wasn't always all happy slime days, you know, slime, whatever slimes do for fun and stuff like that. There were some hard days too. But they learned from it, they grew from it, they grew past it, and they got a really cute hat too. So for all those reasons, Slime Boss, you're the winner. I would like to thank all of our participants for coming out today. I would like to thank everyone behind the cameras for helping me film this. There is no one behind the cameras, it's all me. So thank me. And I would like to thank, I guess, everyone for watching this. I couldn't do this without your support. Actually, yeah, I could do this without your support. I didn't really pay any money for this. Congrats again to everybody, especially Slime Boss here. And I think that's it. So GG's.